Monaghans Galway, located on the Tuam Road, is the leading dealership in Galway for new SKODA, CUPRA and Seat models. Now is the perfect time to order your new car or visit Monaghans.ie.
You're welcome along to the Bird and White pod. So earlier in the week we were looking ahead to the senior and intermediate games, but we're now going to look ahead to the junior football championship final between Killererin and Oncaharua. Two powerhouses of Galway football, but both clubs now find themselves in the junior football championship, and they'll want to be winning this weekend to get things back on track within those clubs. I'm joined by Seán O'Donnell of Oncaharua and Tommy Joyce of Killererin to look ahead to the game. Seán, if someone told you this a few years ago, Killererin and Oncaharua in a junior final, I'm sure you wouldn't have thought that.
Oh, geez, I would told them they were smoking and drinking something that they shouldn't be. In all fairness, suppose we look back 25 years where the two clubs were, and thing looking bright, which it was for years afterwards. But it just shows you how the mighty have fallen. And I suppose the geographic side of it all, where the clubs regarding, I suppose, players immigrating, were in work and stuff like that, and we've got smaller, and the other clubs that were being small junior clubs at the time, it just got bigger and bigger, are now winning multi-titles underage. So, but that's how it is, and you can't do a thing about it. Just hope that the future is bright. Whatever result from whoever wins, Killererin or Cheathrú, that it's a stepping stone maybe to go in the right direction, to go back to where personally where both clubs should be, is up there at senior level.
Before I come to Tommy, why do you think Cheathrú have ended up in junior football? Because I suppose the big thing was everyone was saying senior to junior in the space of 2 years. It's not often we've seen that with a club coming down from senior football straight to junior in 2 years.
No, Paul, it's not often that a club would take the 2 steps in 2 years, but it still boils down to the players themselves. Like, if the players don't put in the effort and the players aren't there, well, then you have a major problem. Like, it's very hard to stop the rot, you could call it, when it sets in, and that's probably what happened, Cheathrú. But like, they have made great strides. I'm sure they had meetings after meetings when they did go down, and it seems everyone is pulling together over there this year, and they're intending on coming straight back up after the 12 months being down in or from being relegated no more than ourselves.
Why do you think Killererin ended up in junior football, Tommy?
Well, sure. Look, no club has any God-given right to stay in senior for eternity or whatever. Like, and when every club, a lot of clubs, or the majority of clubs, will go through hardship at some stage where players fall off. You don't have a full team. A lot of players have a lot of things on. Like, back in our day, we'd never miss training because there was nothing else to do, more so. But like, there's so much other stuff going on with colleges and going away to see the world, and just a lot of parents as well. Like, they bring you when you're young down to matches and down to training and that, and like, they're under stress as well with the way times are. And I feel that's a big problem in a lot of clubs as well, where the players will choose not to go than want to go, because it's a hassle for everybody to get training every night of the week and whatever. Like,
Seán, does it piss you off to see Cheathrú in junior football?
You haven't seen me angry yet, Paul. It does. It does, I suppose. And where it hurts the most is, I suppose, as Tom mentioned it there, like a double jump regarding where we struggled for maybe 4 or 5 years there, just staying senior. And maybe the system of football at the time was negative regarding defensive, not willing to let go of the shackles. And then when we got relegated down to intermediate, it was kind of a scenario where, we're going to jump straight up again. Like, there's going to be no problem here. And people say, why are you junior? Because you lost, I think, out of maybe 14, 15 games. If you lose 13 games, you deserve to go down. And that's the thing about it. Not giving excuses for Cheathrú in any way like that, I suppose. You're going back maybe 6, 7 years ago. We couldn't even field a minor team. We went there a year without fielding a minor team. And that would show you where maybe alarm bells were running that time. And that's really what happened to us in the last couple of years. We had an older generation team without any youth coming through. And if you look at all the good teams, and we're going through, Tommy would know this as well as that, every year we'd have 1 or 2 young lads coming through every year, putting a bit of pressure, and they kind of diluted nicely in. We didn't have that for about 3 or 4 years. There was a big gap there, and it hurt us. And you can't blame players or managers in the scenario where they did their best, and that was it. Like, and listen, it's easy for us to find fault when you stand the sideline and you'll say tactics are wrong or systems are wrong or players not playing well. But again, if that's the way it is, it's the way it is. And it's sad because like Killererin football is the club here is the centre, is the heart of the village. And it's harder then when the club is successful. It's easy to get players playing in underage. But when they see the senior club, and you know, when you go back there watching a junior match or where Division 3, we got relegated again this year, that you count on your hand the amount of people back there. And when I go, and we used to play long ago, Jesus, be 1,000 people at a local club match, like, you know, and that's the way it's gone. Now, again, times have changed. We have more things to do. We have the internet and all that stuff. But it's hurtful. Is the future bright in Carrow? It is in the scenario. We've very good underage coming through. But
did you look internally at things as a club underage, like, because obviously you have to get things back on track, because you mentioned there 3 or 4 years where there was probably nothing coming through, and that's probably where it cost you in one sense.
It did, but it's hard one to call, because if you start raising questions in any GA club, and be it Carrow, Killererin or Kilmacrokes, you're attacking somebody, because someone's there. And I'll always say, anybody's willing to give their free time down on the GA pitch, you cannot give out about them, because there's a lot of people there that can talk about it, and you'll say, what did you do? So it's hard. It's that scenario, like, and in hindsight, I suppose, with my experience and seeing there, I find faults. Of course I did. I'm only human. But then again, if I was there, would it make any difference? Doesn't make a difference that way. I always think it's very important to have a good underage structure through national schools and stuff like that. Keep it interested, see that story is like that, and to build on it. But again, it's a time where the club was always, there's 1 or 2 players coming through every year, and we're senior for 37 years, and nothing will ever change. But you know what I mean? It will bite you in the arse in the end. And not only did we got bit really bad. And sometimes you need to go down to rock bottom. And that's where we are. We're at rock bottom at the moment now. And it's a total rebuild in this club. And am I going to see it happening this weekend? Don't know 100% yet. But it's going to take a few years. I know that. This is not going to happen overnight. And I think Tommie would probably say the same about Killererin. This is not a quick fix regarding one win changes everything. There's a lot of work to be done regarding everybody involved with the club.
And Tommie, do you think it was a good thing in one sense for Killererin to reassess things? And I suppose Tom Hughes comes in, and it seems to be really positive so far this year.
Yeah, it is. We've been on the slide for a good few years, to be honest. From once we got relegated out of senior football, we spent a few years in intermediate, and we were even struggling over the years at that. Like we didn't have the players, and even when Tom came in this year, he's brought in an influx of some of the younger lads that are only 17, 18 years of age. He has 4 or 5 nearly on the team. Plus, then he brought back players that weren't playing over the last few years, that were at the end of their careers, but they've come back. So Killererin will have a balance of experience and young players, which has stood them in good stead all year long. Like, but saying that, they'll run into the biggest test of the year next Sunday, because they've played Headford twice, they've played Athenry, and they played Ballinasloe when they were relegated already. They had nothing to play for. So really, they're walking into a county junior final with a team that's going really well. In the other side now, Seán will say they haven't beaten much either. But I think Carrow will be really hard to beat on Sunday because of they've come down twice. Okay, that's fine. They'll be looking at it as no more than ourselves. No, whatever about the future. Next Sunday is a once off to get back up to make the one big leap up into intermediate, and both of them will be doing their damnedest to do that Sunday. And there'll be no saying this is a 2-year fix or 3-year fix. This is next Sunday is one big jump to back up after the beat, or if they get over Salthill or Tuam in the junior 2 in the final to get promoted. But you'd feel whoever wins next Sunday will be red hot favourites to go up. So I'd be presuming both to be looking at next Sunday as the first way back, but they're not going to say like this is a 2 or 3 year build, Tom Hughes or the Carrow manager.
Tommie, I know in underage you've joined up with Killererin Clonberne, and maybe you've played in higher levels at underage rather than maybe just a Killererin team by themselves. Has that helped the club?
Well, look, as we tried that over we joined with Killererin Clonberne for some of the grades first, and then we joined most of them but the club stepped back from that last year when Tom Hughes came in, because we had a few of the younger lads which would have been on the team, and then if you played under 19, they'd be training with both the under 19s and the junior team. So there was a lot of players being on both teams, which are probably the club and Tom thought that it wouldn't benefit us in the long run. Now, we had a couple of teams that wouldn't have players, but going back to, did it work? It's hard to know, because we didn't play A in Anton, even though we're giant. We're still playing B and C football, because both clubs are probably struggling. And like, not bringing Killererin Clonberne into it, like, they've struggled this year to stay in intermediate, and like, that's the way things are out in our side of the woods. We've players. We might have a bundle of players, like down in our club we have a good under 14 to 15 team, you'd say, where we have 10, 12, 14 players, which would be a lot for us in the one age group. And then we're struggling with other teams. Like, I don't think we have a minor team. We've only got X amount of players for under 19 and 18. So there is a lot of work going in, trying to build and trying to get 3 or 4 players every year now for the next few years, to try and get the team and the club back up to junior, intermediate, up to senior again, which it will take an awful effort, especially on the player side of things, because players have a lot of things. Players go away. Like, we lost when we were struggling intermediate. Like, we had 4 county under 21 players in Colin Ford, Daniel Mannion, Tommy Fahy, Micheál Boyle, and for different circumstances and reasons, none of them were on the pitch at the same time for any of those years or any of those matches. Colin went away, and a few of the other lads weren't around either. So like, that's where we really struggled. When you're missing 4 county under 21 players out of your club, like, you're definitely going to struggle there. Like, no matter what you can do about it.
Seán, I was just looking back at Carrow's games throughout the Westport Championship. So for anyone that isn't aware, Carrow played in the Westport. They won the Westport Championship. Killererin played in the Northport. They won the Northport. But just on the West, and it's no disrespect to the clubs in the Westport, but your Carnacashels, Renville, Clonberne, Father Griffin's Aero, they're not really clubs that have been up in intermediate at any stage in the recent times.
Correct, like, and I suppose the clubs you named there would be struggling to put out teams, like, and I mean, Clonberne were in the Westport final, in the county final last year, bet Corna, and then is it Millock gave them a good hiding in the county final. So that would show you the level. And the thing about it, personally myself, I always look at a team, if you want to be really positive going to matches, you expect to be beating these teams by at least double figures, plus 10, plus 11. I saw all the games, they struggled. What I'm saying is, not saying we struggled, but we struggled to kind of put them away. We never, that kind of way. And now, again, a lot of the stuff would be, I would put it in a scenario where, too, a lot of the players maybe nervousness, in the scenario where expected to play well, and then when it wasn't happening and missing, and if the other team did well regarding that, like the first game against Father Griffins, I remember it was in Spittle. Now, it was a dark evening. We just about got away from there. We played our local rivals, Carna, twice. Again, I expected more from Carna. I think maybe they were the more nervous, expecting to do better against us, and which didn't happen. Clonberne gave us an awful scare out there, who were missing a few players. And it's funny then, where I saw another side of the Cheathrú team in the league, and who were very ambitious, played well attacking football with a lot of youth. As I said, drew with McCullen out. McCullen should have won. A few decisions there, but Carla Strand drew with Monaghans, again 6 points up with 5 minutes to go. Give a good show against Salthill. But then I found that then when the championship starts, and this is no kind of factor to the team or the management, I suppose, that it's a different game when you're playing better opposition. You need to play quicker and faster, and that's where the younger lads, because we had a few of the older lads out injured during the league, and it gave a great opportunity to these young lads who would have been under 17s and under 19s, an opportunity to actually, they never would have got actually in the championship or another team before. So they got a good bit of game time against better opposition and flourished. But with championship, then it's a different game. It's a slower game. It's a more tactical game where there's more to lose. And I suppose we became more conservative and to no effective thing. And that's what happens, where people, you hear this, don't lose possession backwards and scared to attack sometimes and stuff like that. So again, it's a part, listen, it's happening at county level. We saw it even with the interprovincials regarding the ball is key and stuff like that. But how would I put it? We can do damage if we click on that scenario. But my worry for this game is, as Tom mentioned, you have two two. I think last year, Tom, we played each other, and again, it didn't make. There was nothing. I think we were winning well. I think, if I'm not mistaken, and we just at the end just skinned it at the end, and that would be Carrow over the last couple of years. You mean starting well and giving away kind of soft possession. But to me, I look at this game where it's like a game of chess, and I can honestly tell you who will win. The team that will win this does the least mistakes, or something like that, or a red card or something like that. That there's nothing between these two teams. Tom called it there. Older players, young lads coming through. You couldn't mirror two teams the same like that. You got a lot of experience, older experience, and you got a lot of young experience who haven't been here. And it's all about this game on the weekend where, looking at the weather, I think it's going to be torrential. So that's not going to be good. Tuam, unless it's changed, Tom. It's a soft pitch. It'll slow the momentum down even more again in caginess, where mistakes will probably be a bit more. So it's going to, as I keep saying, the winner of this game will do the least mistakes, and that's how it's going to end up.
On the Killererin side of things, Tommie, you mentioned obviously you played Ballinasloe, Athenry and Hepford, but those are three clubs. They're obviously three clubs, first teams as well, similar to there in the West. But Killererin, there is more, maybe a sense that there might be more battle-hardened coming into this game.
It's hard to know, Paul, to be honest, because like Hereford were down a few players. They were down their main man, Pádraig Cunningham, which, like, imagine the difference he'd have made if he was playing in a junior championship match for his club. And so it's really hard to gauge where Killererin are exactly at. But like, it is a junior final on Sunday, and it's all up for grabs to be on the day. And like county finals, as everyone knows, it runs its own course. You could get a great start, or you get a bad start. As Seán said, the weather, God knows what the weather is like. But Tuam Stadium, if you've been in it lately, is looking well, and the pitch is fine. Like, there won't be a problem. Yes, it's not as fast as Pearse Stadium, because it's just the grass compared to what's in Pearse Stadium. But it's nobody will want not to play in Tuam, and like Carrow will come down to Tuam, and they won't have any ambitions only about winning the match. Like, they came down before they won a county final in '96, and they were there. They played an awful lot of matches in Tuam, and it didn't do anything untoward because they were an hour and a half away. It's the same. It'll be the same for everybody on Sunday. And like as Seán said, the least mistakes will probably win the match. It's not going to be a thriller, because Killererin aren't putting up big scores. I know Carrow put up 212 and they got 118. But like, if Carrow score 212, 118 next Sunday, we're in big trouble. Like, because we haven't put up big scores, and it will be very cagey. The last thing that players want to do is give the ball away, or they'll get their heads bitten off them. Maybe taken off some. That's what happens at some stages. They'll say, if he does it again, well, sure, he's coming off. But they're under pressure then, like, not to make a mistake, and there'll be a lot of nerves around, because it's their first chance of getting back up, winning the county title in the first thing, and then to get back up to intermediate again. Like, it's a very quick step, but it's the straight route now. Like I said earlier on, nobody will be wondering about what's going on in 2025 or 2026. It's next Sunday for these two teams first and foremost, and after that, then they'll see what happens.
Seán, what have Carrow people made of the neutral venue that was chosen for this game?
It's too neutral, is it? As Tom said, like, I mean, geez, I spent most of my football career traveling down to Tuam, like, and it's 2 hours now to Tom. It's the traffic's a bitch, like, throughout the city. It's 2 hours now. Geez, you'd be over in the UK at this stage. You wouldn't believe it. There's a majority of that team have never played in Tuam.
Okay.
Now that shows you how the thing is now, Tom, because again, we weren't making county semi-finals the last couple of years, so we wouldn't get a chance. But again, to look forward to it, like, that's the thing about it. Listen, they're looking forward to go down to Tuam. As I say, they've done serious amount of great work down there with the new stand and the pitch. Like, it was a soft pitch, and Tom's correct. The Pearse Stadium is a quicker pitch, but it's a windy pitch too, Pearse Stadium, and the work has to be done. So it's a great opportunity for us to go down there to play in a county final in Tuam. It's a part of history. You have to take that part, whatever grade it is. But they're looking forward to it. It's all a part of the game. At the end of the day, as we were told years ago, it's a piece of grass with a white line and two sticks either end. It doesn't make a difference what's around you. Your goal is to put it over the bar or in the net, and that's it. Like, so the surroundings mean nothing. It's what happens then when the whistle blows and who's got the most scores is going to win, and that's the key of it.
Seán, up front for Carrow this year, Fergal O'Shea, Aidan McCormick, your own son too, Cian O'Donnell. There's some real quality forwards there in this Carrow team.
There is, like, I mean, would you believe it now? They haven't had the opportunity to play as a group, really. I don't think the whole three have never played as a full forward line in any game to date. It's always been injuries or not starting like that. And Éanna McCormack would have been, what I'm saying, is an outstanding footballer, would have been underage for Galway, a serious dead ball expert like that, and give him an inch and he'll take a yard off you like that. But again, like that, and you mentioned Fergal O'Shea there, would be Aidan O'Shea's young son there. Great footballer too, good engine on him, young lad. My own lad's still young enough, like, in all fairness, he's learning the trade still, like, but there's another guy there, Finan O'Connell. He would have been on the minor panel, scored a great goal there against Mayo. You have the likes of Ethan Dupuyer, guy will be on the panel. You've good lads coming through there. You've older lads then, Michael O'Brien, Stiffon O'Brien there. We've a good strong full back, and Miles McDonagh played a great game there against Corn the last day, but this is another level. And this is the thing about it regarding, at the end of the day, all those players they've only played in the last 3 years, 4 years, relegation, beating after beating after beating. And that's really it. Like, and that's how it was. So we're in a situation now where, yes, we are in a weaker championship group. And then, again, no disrespect to the other teams, but we would have been expected to win the Westport. Be having no manager or no players you'd expect to win the Westport, and that's because of the players we had. So they're coming along nicely. Are we the finished article? No, not even close there. But if they get a good hop of the ball, they can hurt you. But also, when you look at the Killererin, they've serious forwards there that can hurt you too, and underage. So, and that's where I'm coming from. The players you mentioned are very young, and they have older players too, which I mentioned there too, which is the mix. And hopefully that's what you want, is the perfect storm, the perfect mix, like, but good young players coming through and good players coming through the ranks after that again, like, but yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Tommie, for Killererin, like, you look at James and Micheál Boyle, obviously crucial up there in attack.
Yeah, they're crucial, like, and the one person that'll be missing will probably be another one of the Boyles, like Mikey Boyle. He's gone away to Australia with his girlfriend, and he was our best player for the last 5, 6, 7 years. He was in with Galway a couple of years ago, so, like, he's a serious loss to our club. But look, the lads won't be thinking of that on Sunday. They'll be hoping that James and the Donoghues, and, like, we've young Callum Morrissey, this is his first year playing, and he was getting good scores, like, and we have a lot of experience as well in Garrod Smith and Adrian Nolan and Andrew Hughes, Mike Tracy. Like, I could name them, a lot of them. It's nearly half and half, the team, like young lads and the older lads. And we've lads to bring on then, like, as well. Like Declan Kelly was our captain in 2010. He came back playing. We've got Shane Hughes, if he's not started, to bring on. Like, he's been one of our best forwards over the years. And they'll be all looking forward to hopefully trying to beat Carrow on Sunday. But, like, they know themselves, like, they are going to have to play out of their skins a lot better than what they played against Headford the last day, or anything near that, to beat Carrow on Sunday.
Éanna Donoghu really impressive too in the Northboard final there against Headford.
Yeah, Éanna is, yeah, and, like, he's scoring as well, like, but, like, are Carrow going to be watching him tearing up the field every chance he gets? I'm sure they'll have a plan for him on Sunday to stop that, or have a man marked, like, and if that happens, like, we're struggling for scores, like, and a lot of our scores are coming, half of them are coming from frees as well, from James and whoever takes them, and Callum. So, like, we need to hit a score of at least 15 to 17 points to have any chance of winning the match, which I don't think we have hit yet this year. We've got 1-7, we got I think it was 1-10 the last day, or whatever it was. We was 9 points apiece the first day at Rye. Like, we did probably a big score against Ballinasloe at home, but, like, they came down, they didn't have much to play for on the evening. But I just go back to what Seán was saying there about the venue and that, like, the county board aren't taking any chances of the match being not being fully played after 23 years ago when it was dark, when Carrow would give us a replay. But they've it fixed for 11:15 next Sunday, so it'll be well over before it gets dark the next day anyway.
What do you think of that lads, though, like 11:45 and for a county final?
Actually, question to you there is regarding, there is extra time penalties, or it has to be a winner on the day? I didn't see that. Is there a replay, or is it winner on the day?
it's winner on the day.
He'll be winner on the day. But to
So
be honest,
that's why they're giving the extra time. Then you see, because the county final is just because it goes to that scenario. That's what it's giving us the base, like, you know.
plus the I think the county final is on TG Car anyway at 2:15, so they were working back from that. So 11:45, like it, and in all honesty, it is early for Carrow to make it to Tuam for, like, you're talking what time you might have to get up at 7 or 8 o'clock.
The game, you want to be leaving, I suppose, Saturday night anyway, Tom. Like, you know, but as you said yourself, if it goes to extra time, you see, they have to know too, because they mightn't come out of the dressing room. See, there's a problem there, like, as well. Like, but that's another story for another day, Tom, isn't it?
That's if you're going back to that 23 years ago, like, I don't know who was wrong or who was right, but like we were on about pitches. We offered to go back to your own home ground, and you wouldn't even accept that as well. So I don't know. We couldn't play as a 5 at all that year.
Well, you couldn't come out of the dressing room, and we were there. So what can you do? Jesus Christ!
You couldn't see anything at 9:10 at night.
You couldn't find the door out. That's what happened that night.
Just on it there, because you're talking obviously about when you played each other 23 years ago. But like, Seán, what are your own memories of playing Killererin at that time?
Oh, listen, great rivalry, great players. Like you're talking the amount of players. Like, and I know Tom, it doesn't have an ego in that, but himself and Porrick and Tommy Wilson, and we're talking, and Tom Hughes. I marked him many a time. Like, and why would I put it? Killererin, like a real community football team. Like, we're so proud. Like, I mean, that's what they were. And when you played Killererin, you were in the game, and we had good battles. Like in '99, we went to a replay, and what like that. Like, and I suppose that would have been the start for you really taking off then. And I suppose we were that stage. We had some good few years before that. Like, but there was a lot of respect there regarding the amount of us. We, as I say, we played and trained together with under Jono, God rest his soul. Like, and I always tell that to people that understand. We had more hate for each other going across that white line when we played in a club match, because no way would we go back to training and said, you gave us a good hiding back there. And that's how it was. You know, Tom, like, there was a lot of pride in your club. Now, I'm not saying there's no pride there now, but I just found it was different, that we fought hard. It was a different game of football that time. And people keep forgetting, and I don't forget ever, like, and people always ask, and I know, Tom, when we saying this about Porrick, is that Porrick was a captain of the international rules team and up in Dublin, and they were playing Letsamore in a league match. Porrick down back in Letsamore, and like all the back in Letsamore, and Porrick left the camp in Pro Park to go down to play a club match, which didn't need to do, and that just shows the pride in Porrick and Tom and the whole lot of them, and that's the difference when you see it, and that was in our own club as well. Like, I mean, it's and I suppose times have changed, and it's harder for the young lads today. In girls, it's a different game, it's a different situation, but a lot of respect, a lot of hate. Would you call it? I think it's called good hate, Tom. Regarding a bit like the Mayo thing. You wanted to win every game, however you did it. Like, and that was the story.
What are your own memories, Tommy, then playing Carrow?
Yeah, it was like we were all training away with Galway at the time. There was 6 or 7 of us in there, like, and anytime we went back to Carrow, we used to get a bus and we'd go over and we'd have the crack after. And like, in all honesty, like, if you ever won't beat Carrow and Carrow, by God, when you left, you were well due the sandwich and the drink in Aidan O'Shea's when you on the way out, like, because it was absolutely tit for tat. Like, there was never, I don't think we ever nobody hammered each other. And went on we used to play league games and we got drawn the championship a few times, but like 99 was the highlight at beating them, and they after the replay, but it took a replay because it was so tight, and I think it was 1-6-9 at the first day, and I think we won by 3 or 4 in the replay the following Saturday. But I have great memories of it, to be honest, and like you couldn't meet nicer lads, and we're all friends since, like, which is great too. You see the lads around the matches, and see I do meet Seán Ogan that time and Oran more because it's where I work, but it's Micheál O'Donnell as well. Like, you have to give him a mention. Like, I had battles with him. Like, my God, like, if I didn't get a good night's sleep before we played Carrow, I was well off to stay at home, because if I ran 9 miles, he'd try and run 9.5. Just the way it was, like, whatever.
But that's the game. Good player.
Yeah.
It's just interesting when we're looking ahead to this one, Seán, because many people around the county might think whoever wins this game goes up to intermediate. But there's a Junior 2 final at the weekend too, between Salthill Knocknacarra and Tuam Stairs. So the winner of this game between Killererin and Carrow meets the winner of Tuam and Salthill then in the junior county final, and the winner of that then goes up to intermediate football.
Yeah, it's a bit kind of crazy. And I suppose I always said over years, it's easier to stay senior or stay intermediate than actually come up. It's more of a struggle because the littlest mistake kills you. Like, so, like, as people forget, like, they see this as a county final and go up. No, there isn't. You still have to play very big panel. Like, talk about teams, like, as you said yourself, Tuam would have a big panel, Salthill would have a big panel. So we're hoping to play, which will be a lot of their younger under 19 players coming through like that. And as well, they're both teams are out of the championship now, so all their time and effort are going into this team. So it won't be easy. So, and also then whoever wins, you have a scenario where you're looking forward to a Connacht semi-final. But really, at the end of the day, you ask yourself, what's more important? Is to get promoted or to represent your county in the Connacht Championship? So it's a tough one. It's a really tough one because you're going to be burning the candle. Whoever wins this is going to be burning the candle both ends, because as a manager, I'd be saying, listen, guys, promotion is the most important thing. Everything else is a bonus. And then injuries and stuff like that. And like, I don't know about Killererin, but we wouldn't have a really, like, we don't have 35, 40 players depth, you know what I mean? Where we can't have A versus B teams because we don't have those players. We don't have those panels like where other teams would. So you can't afford the slightest injury. Like her today, one of the young lads got injured today or training last night. So that's what happens, you see. Just we don't have the panel and to recover from stuff like that. So whoever wins will have earned it, but they seriously have a big battle, a big week or two ahead of them, because they'll want a lot of football played in the next 3-4 weeks, which is wrong, personally, myself, which is wrong.
You think it's wrong that the winner did?
Well, it's wrong that you're talking straight away, you're going to be going into a Connacht semi-final, which looks like it's going to be the Mayo champions. And also you're looking towards a county final, which that's really your goal, because both teams' goal at the end of the year, start of the year, was to be promoted, not to represent Galway in Connacht. And it's easy in hindsight, oh, that's nice. Another, Carrow and Killererin want to go up to intermediate, full stop. And that's the most important thing. So whoever wins this, it'll be a celebration, but it'll be a quick celebration, because there's a bigger, tougher game after this, which is not the Connacht. It's actually against the winners of Salthill Tuam, and that's the way it should be looked at.
What's your views on this, Tommie?
Yeah, it's just the way it's with the West staying on the West and the North staying in the North, and then you've got the junior two coming in. I think after when Killererin qualified after North Board and Carrow qualified, they should really have put the Salthill and Tuam in with us then before they played a middle county final of all sorts, and then whoever won it all. Like fair enough. At least it's a bank holiday weekend coming up for the team. Whoever wins, they can celebrate Sunday night and try and go back to train, recover Monday, and go back to train on Tuesday. But like it's very hard for you all. Like everyone wants to play in the county final, and then you win it, and then you have your manager beaten down, and you, geez, we have to take it easy now because we're still not promoted and that. So it's not fair in a way. But saying that, look, it's you're going to have a couple of weeks, and no doubt the team that is the best team will probably get promoted anyway of the 4 teams. Like Salthill and Tuam would have big panels. They've not like Carrow and Killererin. Like the last few years, we were struggling to get subs tagged for these matches, the intermediate matches, these relegation playoffs. Like we'd have 17, 18, 19 players. Like at least there's a few more lads back. The panels is a touch bigger this year. But like saying that, like Salthill, how many players do they have and how many players do Tuam have? Tuam have been winning these junior competitions, and they pushed Minla so hard last year. So in a way, it's great to be in the county final, but you're looking behind you then saying like, geez, we're still not up, and it would be a disaster to win the county final and not get promoted. Like, so that's what they'll be looking at.
So lads, to get to predictions for this game, I'm going to start it. I think Carrow are going to squeeze through this one and win by 2 points. Tommie, we'll come to you then. Who do you think will win and by how much?
Well, sure. Look, I'm going to back my own club to the hilt anyway. I always did. But if we like the problem is we're going to have to score something like 115. 114, 115 to have a chance of beating Carrow. Now, it's all right saying it could be after 10 minutes, 12 minutes, that it's 2 points apiece or 3. But look, it will finish up close enough, bar a sending off or something. But I still think Killererin might just edge it at the finish.
And by how much?
Sure, 1 point will do us. You know, we don't mind. But 1 point will do us, to be honest, Paul.
Seán, how do you see it?
Again, I'd be cagey about it. Like in all fairness, I'll always go with my heart and my own team, and I suppose I have two young lads playing as well. So Jesus Christ, I can't go against them, or they cheat me off. They'll be out in the street. But again, Tom, I don't see it being a spectacle. It'll be something special, like regarding a classic goal or a red card that could be. But I'll go with Carroll with +2. But will it be in normal time? I don't know. Will it go to penalties? I don't know. Like maybe that's why a bit of extra time, but there won't be much in it. It's not going to be one-sided in any way at all. Like, and it'll take something special from one side of the team. So I go with my heart here on this one. I'll just go with Carroll with +2.
So that is Killererin Carrow on Sunday at 11:45 in Tuam Stadium. That is all we do have time for on today's show. Thanks a million to Tommie and Seán for coming on.